Hi, Andy here, 54 and wanting more. And this week we are looking at, or I am looking at, the coming of age of 55 next week. And I'm going to reflect on that a little bit in this week's episode. And just for future information, this episode is going to be every fortnight from now on, due to my up and coming business commitments. Hi everyone, Andy here, 54 and wanting more, just for one more week, because it is the double fives next week. So yeah, this episode is all about reflecting, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about what I've been thinking about reaching 55. I hope you find it interesting, and if you resonate with it, don't forget to like and share. I found this little spot at Stannick Lakes where I go walking, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down here for 10 minutes without listening to any music, without listening to a podcast. I'm just going to sit and be. And it was wonderful just listening to the breeze through the trees and the ducks quacking and strange things rustling in the bushes. But it was lovely. So as I'm sitting here now, I'm going to talk to you. So as I turn 55, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. Birthdays, they have a way of doing that, don't they? You look back, you look forward, and most importantly, you stop for a moment to look at where you are right now. And honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is gratitude. Pure and simple gratitude, especially for my health and the health of the people that I love. That's everything. Without that, nothing else really matters. When I turned 50 and started going through the menopause, oh God, what a time that was. My joints went in my wrists and my ankles at the same time. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing ever. So I was literally shuffling around the floor and, walking. Well, I couldn't walk barely, and sort of taking one step at a time. My wrists got that bad at one point that it was so painful to brush my teeth, my hair, have a shower. And in the end, I went to the doctor and I had physio. I was rubbing all sorts of creams in. I had my ankles in buckets of ice, and I did everything. I had a small operation on one of my wrists, and that was successful, and the other one healed itself. But for a year and a half, I went through this strange situation where I couldn't go out for a walk anymore, let alone that I used to run. I couldn't even do any yoga because I couldn't bend my wrists. I couldn't do anything. And you know what? That year and a half, it was never ending. But that year and a half has made me appreciate every single thing that has come since I've healed. I do not take anything for granted anymore. And what I really want to emphasize to anybody out there is, if you do have some sort of ailment and you've got to sort of persevere, you've got to persevere with it. I mean, I thought my heels would heal in 6 to 8 weeks, and they didn't. It took such a long time, a year and a half, before they were healed, that I could walk normally. And I wouldn't even dare to try to run now. I'm not interested in running, I just want to walk. But what I'm saying to you is, don't give up. Because I know a lot of people, they think if your physio hasn't worked in 12 weeks, oh, it's not going to work. Do not have that attitude, please. You just keep going and things will get better, or find another direction, try a different treatment until you get the result you want. That's my biggest advice. And that's the last of my little rant. Moving on. So, about 40 years ago, I used to dream of retiring at 55. I thought that would be the ultimate goal. Well, the reality is I haven't retired, but what I have is actually so much better. I don't wake up to an alarm clock every morning. I don't have that pressure of someone else setting my schedule. I get to plan my own time, my own days, exactly how I want them. And that freedom, well, that's absolutely priceless. And I'm so grateful for that. One of my favorite parts of my day is the morning. I love having mornings to myself. Yoga is always the first thing, just rolling out the mat, stretching, breathing, grounding myself before the day begins. Oh my gosh. I mean, I've got a daily habit now with yoga. And if I don't do it for whatever reason, whether I'm visiting friends and, I always take my travel mat with me wherever I go, but I really, really get, it's just, I don't feel right unless I've done my yoga for the day. So I love it. I recommend that also to everyone. There's all sorts of forms of yoga for everybody, honestly. Anyway, I do my yoga first thing in the morning, and my darling other half, he goes and does my breakfast for me. So it's all ready for when I get into the kitchen. And he's happy because he's watched his football for an hour or so whilst I've been doing the yoga. So it all works out. So after I've had my breakfast, I put my face on and get ready to go to work. And I've got a little office up the garden, so that's nice. But if I am somewhere else, I can just flick the laptop open anywhere I am. So that's really, really cool. And this little routine just sets the tone for me. And it's like having a gift to myself every single day. I love it. And the beauty of my lifestyle now is the flexibility. I can spend time with my friends, family, whenever I want to. And I just have to tweak things around work. It feels balanced and it feels right. I just literally came back yesterday from spending 3 days with some relatives of my partner. And to those 3 days, I did have work to do, but I squeezed it in. I was like, okay, while you're off playing cub in the garden or doing some bits and pieces, or even whilst we were all sitting in the kitchen and chatting, I just could flip my laptop up and do some bits and pieces. So that flexibility is great. I love it. I mean, I don't mind. Sometimes I can be working at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. That doesn't matter for me if I know that I've had that whole day to myself. It's great. Anyway, at 55, I've come to a place where I genuinely don't worry about what anyone thinks anymore. You know, it's quite refreshing, I think. I think that's been one of the greatest gifts of getting older. I can please myself and I can live in my own bubble sometimes. And honestly, I've just got that zero F attitude sometimes, and it feels amazing. It really does. You just don't have to worry about what anybody else is thinking or saying. You just get on with what you've got to get on with. And I think, yes, I think getting to sort of mid-50s achieves that, and it's great. Maybe some of you got there before me, I don't know. But isn't it a wonderful feeling? Travel is another big part of my life and one I cherish deeply. I mean, yes, I was at sea for 8 years, which was the ultimate travel experience, basically. And since now that I'm based back in the UK, since COVID and life changed, it was an interesting sort of path to get to where I am now as an independent travel agent. And my partner and I, David, we do get to travel a lot. And some people say to me sometimes, "Oh, you're so lucky, you get to travel so much." But it's not luck. It's about planning. It's about making it a priority. A weekend away here and there, one big holiday a year.
Those little and big escapes mean so much. They recharge me, they give me perspective, and they remind me that experiences are worth more than things. I mean, if that's not something that doesn't hit you as you get older, you can have a wardrobe full of designer shoes and handbags. But I'm telling you now, when you get sort of 50 plus, I'm not say 50 plus, but let's say older, you really, first of all, you're not going that many places where you can tot around in high heels. And secondly, they're just not important. They're really not. But it's whatever makes you feel good. You know, if you feel good, you look good. And ultimately, for me now, I'd say that experiences are worth a lot more than having things. Absolutely 100%. But you know what? Some of the greatest pleasures are free. I mean, walking, for example. Here I am sat on this garden bench, and in the middle of a walk, I love walking. Just putting one foot in front of the other, breathing fresh air, feeling connected to everything around you. There's something so grounding and so simple about it. And then I've got my yoga, of course. I mean, every day it teaches me something new. I mean, the amount of different quotes and things that I hear in a lesson every day to start my day, it's so inspiring. But this is just one of my teachers, Travis Elliott. This is one of his that he quoted not so long ago, and it inspires me constantly. His words stay with me. And this was one of his: let go a little bit of transformation takes place. Let go a lot, and a lot of transformation takes place. The degree of your success has everything to do with the degree of your surrender. Everything is in motion.
Anyway, I am 55 next week, and to be honest, it doesn't bother me at all whatsoever. And it doesn't feel like a big birthday or anything like that. The only thing that stands out for me is that when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I gave myself the goal that I would be retired at 55. Well, that hasn't happened. And I'm glad it hasn't happened, because ultimately, I can't imagine being retired. I want to be busy. And the the goals that I have for myself are still the same as what they were 5 years ago. I've got on the front of my phone a list of 6 things that are important to me, which is a flexible lifestyle and consistency. To be able to achieve a flexible lifestyle, you have to be committed and have persistence and patience. And these are all things that all areas of my life that I know I had to work on. I wasn't known for my patience, and it's not easy to be persistent and consistent with any task that you do. It doesn't matter what it is. But if you want to achieve something at the end of it, whether it's being an athlete or baking a cake, you have to practice. So you have to do it several times, and you have to be consistent with it. You can use that for any part of life. You have to try and be consistent. Brushing your teeth every day, you have to do it consistently. Anyway, so yeah, at 55, I came to a conclusion when I was walking here today. I mean, basically, I normally listen to a podcast or listen to music, but I thought today I'm just going to walk, listen to the birds, listen to my mind, basically, see what's going on in there. And whilst I was reflecting, the first thing, and I know it's the in word at the moment, is that I was feeling grateful. Grateful for my health, for my family and my friends that I've got close around me. I don't have lots of friends. I don't have a large family, but I am so grateful for those people that I do have around me. And it's quality, not quantity anyway, isn't it? And the main thing for me personally is, even though I'm 55 now and I'm not retired, I am still growing. Boy, am I still growing. And if you would have asked me that 5 years ago, I don't know, where does that come from? And it's all to do with keeping active. And I think keeping active, not just physically, but mentally. And it doesn't matter whether your goal is to have the most beautiful garden, you've got commitments that you've got to, bring up the kids or look after elderly parents. You've got to be active and have some sort of purpose in life. And that purpose is what keeps you going every day. I jokingly said something in my last episode that, I just like to sit on the sofa and watch daytime TV all day. I would sometimes, but if I had to do it every single day, oh my God, could you imagine how brain numbing that would be? No. You have to try and find a purpose, whether it's supporting a charity, as I said, having the most fabulous garden. There's so many, it doesn't matter what it is, it's what satisfaction that you get out of doing. So it could be cooking, baking a cake, taking the dog for a walk, whatever your goals are. It's you've got to have something in your life, I believe, that means that every morning when you wake up, there's going to be a purpose. And I think that is one of the key words, for me at striking 55, is that I feel like I have a purpose and that I'm still growing. And whether that purpose will be satisfactory for me in the end, who knows? But at the end of the day, every single day, I know I've got a goal to achieve. And it keeps you going. It keeps the grey cells turning, which is all so important in this day and age. Okay, it's time for me to go, and it's gone a bit cooler and a bit grey all of a sudden, so I'm going to go and get a nice coffee. But thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and for all us mid-50 gals out there, stay strong, find your purpose, and keep growing. Don't forget, like, share, give me a thumbs up. It really helps.